And I am live. Good morning, everybody. What is going on? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my review, spoiler in-depth review for Marvel's What If, Episode 6. We got Episode 6 today. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in here. If you're in here, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel a lot. Consider clicking that subscribe button if you happen to be new here, because I do talk about What If on this channel every single week. And I do, excuse me, I do movie reviews, I do ranking videos, and I do Q&As. So if you love movies, you're definitely in that right place. Consider hitting that like and subscribe button. So now let's talk about Marvel's What If, guys. So far, the show's been really good. I'm actually surprised I'm actually loving the show. In that it's very different for the MCU to tackle animation, but they're taking past events of the MCU that we already know, but they're flipping the script and giving us new realities. And I think the show's been crushing it. And I'm just totally surprised they're taking a lot of risks with the show. So, of course, guys, we'll talk about episode 6 of What If. We'll break down the episode. So, if you haven't seen the episode yet, go watch it on Disney Plus. Or if you don't care about spoilers, then hey, stick around. So, this episode of What If was what if Killmonger saved Tony Stark and then just became the madman Killmonger we know today and became that radical tyrant that we know him from in Black Panther? So this episode, pretty much, you take the first Iron Man and you mash it with Black Panther. Oh, sorry. You mash Black Panther and Iron Man together into one. And the star of today's episode was Killmonger himself. Michael B. Jordan did return to reprise his role. Robert Downey Jr. is not reprise his role for Tony Stark. So the episode opens up the really creepy image of the Watcher. And something I am noticing with the Watcher is that he's getting a lot closer. We're seeing that orange body of the Watcher, Jeffrey Wright's voice. We obviously know he voices the Watcher. And the Watcher has been kind of in the shadows, just watching these events and narrating them. But he's getting much closer now. We see his full form. So is there going to come a point by the end of this season where the Watcher is going to fully intervene? Because we saw in episode 4 where Doctor Strange is calling out to him and he's like, I can't intervene. And very interesting that we're seeing the Watcher getting closer in his full form, supposedly. But the episode opens up how Iron Man opens up. Tony Stark gets exploded in a bunch of army cars, and Tony Stark is, of course, trying to get out of the car. He sees one of his weapons, his bombs, but Erik Killmonger saves him by blowing up that bomb. And we saw this in the trailer, pretty much, that Killmonger saves him. And so they embark on their journey together. And so that's what this episode is. What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark and Tony Stark didn't become Iron Man? That's pretty much the flip 180. Tony Stark in this episode did not become Iron Man, and so he's become a good ally with Killmonger. And so I just love how the episode really dived into that friendship they kind of had, Killmonger and Tony Stark. And so we see Tony holding a press conference. Obadiah Stane is there, and Killmonger. He names Killmonger his commanding officer, his right-hand man. And the cool little shot right there of Tony Stark and Killmonger at the press conference, and we see Killmonger wearing this like Navy SEAL uniform, which is what he was working as. And we see Rhodey in this episode. Don Cheadle returned to reprise his role, and he's having a conversation with Pepper. Pepper doesn't trust him, doesn't trust Killmonger at all, tries to get a little information and says that, hey, he is a Navy SEAL. And Rhodey brings that information right there because he has that military background. And so pretty much Tony and Killmonger, they build weapons. Of course, that's what Tony Stark did before he became Iron Man. He's a weapons designer for the military. And so we see Tony and Killmonger together in his house building a droid. of course, of Stark Industries, building that droid in there. And so we see them building it together. And then, of course, they need something. They need vibranium to really activate these droids. And so Killmonger brings up a resource. He brings up Ulysses Klaue, and Andy Serkis does return to voice Ulysses Klaue. And Pepper's like, no, 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 we don't deal with black arms dealers. And so Tony Stark's like, we got to do this. Let's go to Klaue and get the vibranium to build up this droid. And so Tony sends Rhodey to go confront Ulysses Klaue, and we do see Ulysses Klaue in this episode. And Andy Serkis, great to see him reprise the role. And Rhodey opens up the portal, sees the vibranium, but something's going on. Someone is stopping him from doing that, and we see Black Panther, T'Challa, pretty much try to stop Rhodey from taking the vibranium. He's like, give the vibranium to me. Let me bring it back to Wakanda where it belongs. And so Rhodey tries to confront T'Challa, and T'Challa's not letting him take that vibranium at all until we see Killmonger. He comes right in and he kills T'Challa right there. And he's like, this is for my father, cuz. Just like he does pretty much almost in the movie. Killmonger kills T'Challa, but he also kills Rhodey. Rhodey's like, why would you do that? And then Killmonger just savagely kills Rhodey right there, just leaves him in cold blood. And that's what we know Killmonger to be. He will do anything to get what he wants. So he kills Rhodey in cold blood. That's what I'm loving about the show. The show is just savagely having dark moments and characters not being afraid to kill other characters off. That's what I'm loving about this show so far. And so Killmonger goes back to Tony, and Tony confronts Killmonger. Of course, he knows through Jarvis's AI. Like, hey, you don't mess with Jarvis. I know you killed Rhodey. Why did you do it? And then Killmonger's like, we have different views. We're fighting different battles. And so Tony tries to get his droid bot to fight Killmonger. But of course, that doesn't work. And Tony gets killed by Killmonger himself. And yeah, he pretty much says, we're fighting different wars, Tony. I wish we were in this together. And he points to his stripes like, each scar I have is for a kill. And so Tony dies through Killmonger's hands. Like we pretty much all predicted. Killmonger, you can't trust that guy. But we do see Thunderbolt Ross appear in this episode and pretty much confronting a deal with Killmonger to build Tony Stark's droid army. And we see that in Wakanda, and then we see Happy Hogan and then Pepper get kind of confused what is going on. But we do see Killmonger travel with Klaue to Wakanda to try to get in the doors of the Wakandans, to try to get them in for the battle. But Killmonger just uses Klaue like he did in the Black Panther movie and kills Klaue. Gets in Wakanda just like we saw in the Black Panther movie, brings Klaue. The Dora Milaje are standing with their spears, and he's like, I am Prince Njobu, son of whatever he says in the movie. Shows his little Wakanda thingy, and then he confronts T'Chaka in the throne room and says, I am your nephew. And then he's like, you are my nephew. You have a home here in Wakanda. So Killmonger pretty much prepares them for a battle against Starkbots. Starkbots come in through Thunderbolt Ross into Wakanda. They're all standing ready for battle. Kind of reminded me of Two Towers. Very much like this. It felt like the Two Towers Helms Deep battle in this episode. You got the Starkbots on the other side, and then you have the Wakandans, the Dora Milaje on the other side. They're standing ready to fight them. And everybody is just ready, just standing really nicely prepared for battle. We got Killmonger leading those droid bots, and then we see him on the rhinos, and then we just see just Dora Milaje, and then just leading generals everywhere, and then we just see Stark bots marching into battle. And so this last like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes is just this battle in Wakanda. Pretty cool, epic action sequences. We see the Dora Milaje pretty much killing all Stark bots. We see Okoye using her spear. Just really cool, awesome battle. And then they're all like, for T'Challa, and saying their little chant right there at the end. And then we see Killmonger near the end of the episode with a cool shot right there of the Watcher on the left. And he's talking with T'Chaka. And T'Chaka offers him the new Black Panther title. And so we do see Killmonger become the new Black Panther. He becomes the new Black Panther, and we see him taking the little potion, and then he becomes the Black Panther. And then in that little moment where he's talking with the Panthers, it's actually T'Challa. T'Challa asks him, "Was it worth it, cousin? Worth it to kill me?" And he's like, "Absolutely. This was for vengeance for my father." And then he's like, "You're full of vengeance." It's pretty much like his little talk with Zemo in Civil War. Vengeance has consumed you. You're a tyrant. It's going to come back and haunt you. And I actually really like that moment right there. We see T'Challa, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, talking with Erik, like, the actions you're doing is not good. Revenge is not a good thing, and it's not gonna be worth it at the end. But Killmonger does not care. He will do anything to get what he wants. But then the end of the episode, Pepper and Wakanda mourning those losses. And then Pepper meets Shuri. Shuri is sitting in Pepper's office right there. And then she's like, "Yeah, I know. Uh, Killmonger killed my brother, and then we know he killed Tony Stark. And so we're going to work on this together." And so the end of the episode, we see Pepper meeting Shuri at the end. Pretty satisfying, cool little ending right there. And that was pretty much the end of the episode. Overall thoughts? I think the episode was really solid. Definitely not my favorite episode. I think 4 is definitely my favorite, but not as good as well as episode 5, but a pretty badass episode overall. So if you love Black Panther and if you love the first Iron Man, I mean, you mesh those two movies together. That's pretty much this episode right here. So really cool banger episode right there. And it was great to see Killmonger once again. Michael B. Jordan voiced the character, and hear his theme as well come back. Pretty badass. So yeah, I really dug this episode, guys. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Did you love it like me? Did you think it was okay? Disappointment? Or did you not like it at all? Are you not liking the show? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, guys. That's going to do it for my thoughts on episode 6. Episode 7 is next week. So look forward to that review. I'll be back once again talking the spoilers. You guys are seriously all the best. Let me check the chat if anybody was here. Buffer, thank you, Buffer. No, you're the man for commenting and being here. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. All my social media links are in the description below. You guys are seriously all the best. I'll be back next week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.